Everybody, I wanted to make a new diagram. Stone to B2. Because I was looking at some of the flow charts and I thought, okay, maybe some instruction, some guidance would help. I did remake my milestone. I didn't like what was happening in the school thing. It was too tied to reality and it just got kind of boring and dumb. And I restarted. Traditional fantasy, young halfling, half dwarf, half elf. Not sure why that's relevant. Maybe later on I could develop different choices of players who have different assets. I'm thinking I'm going to track three things: time, hit points, and money. And somehow that will contribute to being able to progress through the levels. All I'm going to do here is try to do one chapter. I'm going to start with begin game. And as you can see the lamp stuff here, this is because of the flowchart basics that I'm starting with. Okay. So the first thing I'm just going to put here is a rectangle, which is just going to be, I'm going to use a rectangle anytime I have a kind of a module or some kind of function that I'm going to run. This is going to be game intro. And, I can kind of get into the details of that later. There'll be some input and output, get the name of the person, print the story, whatever. But then I'm getting into chapter one. And basically, when I look at my plan, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 choices. So I'm going to head into a decision. And I'm going to say, make choice. And I'm going to bring this guy into this guy. All right, now out of the choice, I'm going to have 5 different branches. So let's kind of get organized here, and let's start with one here. This is going to be the bartender conversation, and there's going to be another one which is drink heavily, and there's going to be another one which is flirt with the barmaid, and leave town, go to forest, and then yet another one, which is leave town to go to Smokewater. All right, so now I'm going to connect these up. This could go to here. 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 Or this could go to here. Okay, great. Now, one of the mistakes that I saw people running into is just kind of having these dead ends hanging out here. If there is a bartender conversation, there is some consequence of that, but ultimately it has to lead back to making a choice. And so, and I don't really like the way that's happening. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to try to draw this line separately. Somehow I'm going to show that it's coming back here. Can I separate these out or something? Going into that node, going out of that node. Okay, this is kind of annoying. Game intro over here. Oop, this guy never got connected. Okay, there we go. Okay, if I move this, can I move it over here? Okay. Drink heavily similarly is gonna come out here and come back into here. And I'm really liking this. I think it's the fact that it comes out of here. Okay, there we go. And flirt with the barmaid, same thing. Maybe move it to the other side. And then I can come back here and come into here. Oops. Like I got that all the way up. Okay. And then in this one, I'm going to come out here. This is go to chapter 2. And this one is go to chapter 3. And if I wanted to, I could, so this is a sort of module. If I want to put a little more detail, I think this is good, actually. I mean, I think basically what I miss, the only thing I'm missing is some words on this: choose, bartender, talk, buy drinks, flirt with barmaid. So, I kind of have these labeled. This one, I would say, go to forest. And then this other one, I'm going to say, go to smoke water. Now these two are kind of doubled up. I don't like that. So I'm going to move this one over here. Okay. Go to forest. There we go. Go to chapter 2, go to chapter 3. Right. So at this point, the flow is clear. I go into the begin game. I have a game intro module. I come into the decision point. I make a decision, flirt with the barmaid. There's some kind of functionality that happens when I do that. Then I come back to make a choice. I can go back to flirting with the barmaid if I want. I can choose a bartender talk coming here. I can choose to buy drinks and come back here. And the only way out of this chapter is going to the forest or going to smoke water. That takes me to chapter 2. That takes me to chapter 3. My chapter 1 is finished. I take a screenshot. I can put it in a Word document, or I can move on to the next. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can easily fit more on this one page. So I'm just going to leave that, call this chapter 1. Let's see, file, save as, B2, chapter 1, save, and I've got it here and I can upload it to, it's another option. So I think maybe for some people, the problem starts back in the milestone 1, which is I need to have a clear set of my choices. I don't need to have it totally clear what's going to happen as a consequence of each choice. That's part of my game design. I have some notes here about losing money, losing HP, losing time. And I can decide how I'm going to accomplish that and how much time I'm going to lose in each case. I think that, yeah, and I have this other thing here. I'm not quite sure how this is going to work. So if I was going to try to elaborate on this part, because I wanted there to be a branch after you're talking to the bartender. So let's break this off a little bit. So I'm going to have another decision tree up here that says I'm going to go into that. And the choice here is choose to give bartender money. And then there's a yes branch and a no branch. In the yes branch, we'll just keep it simple and say that Did you know about the forest path? Yes. Give the bartender money. So now I'm feeling like this should say yes. Now I'm feeling like actually that this choice is not the right thing because the way I've designed it, I wanted the person to have to go through the bartender before yeah, so how am I going to accomplish this? Okay, so then there's another path, another input output that's like you should go to smoke water and then oh, I need another arrow here. But it's come to down here. Okay. And then this is my no branch. And at that point, then there should be a choice. But the choice now, interesting. Let me switch this up. This is fine. Oh boy. So after we get the information, the message to go to smoke water, seems like there's a decision to make again, which could be, do you want to kind of leave town right away? Leave town. So that's going to take me to the smoke water branch. And if the answer is no, so this is the yes branch, this is the no branch. And then similarly, this guy needs to go to a decision. Do you want to leave town? And then I have my yes branch. And then that one leads out to go to chapter 2. And then I have my no branch, which is going to go back up to making a choice so that I can flirt with barmaid, buy drinks, that and then that leads me back into a loop. I'm not quite sure if this is exactly what I want because I'm not sure I want to have to go back through once I've gone through the bartender once. Maybe this option goes away and then I get an option to just leave town. If I sort of want to go back, drink heavily, and then leave town, I don't know how I'm going to accomplish that. But anyways, you could see how one little thing kind of makes this much more complicated. The thing that I'm looking for is a flowchart that's functional. There's no dead ends. There's a path. I can take different paths through this and come out going to chapter 3 or going to chapter 2. That's what's important. I don't have to have all the details about everything that's going to happen. I just need the basic flow, and I want the shapes to be right. So anytime there's a decision to be made, I should see a diamond. If it's just some kind of functionality that's going to happen, okay, bartender conversation. We're eventually going to write a function or a module that's going to take care of that. And that'll just be executed once I make a choice to go choose to talk to the bartender. Okay, hope that helps. I'm going to post this and yeah, let me know if you have questions.